Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Beanie, and today we are going to be counting down the top 10 right fielders available right now in MLB The Show 17. My opinion on this top 10, I don't think that right field is quite as good at the top as, say, center field or third base. Those positions are a little more top heavy, but I think that this position is very, very deep. So deep that I honestly kind of felt bad leaving one of the number 11 guy off the list. So we're going to start with him as a quick honorable mention before we get into the top 10. And that is the 91 overall Hunter Pence. And man, I was really trying to find a way to get this guy into the list because I really do love this card. You know, he's very good against lefties. He crushes lefties, and you know, he's okay versus righties, but he's a guy that you may want to think about platooning, and because of that, I really couldn't justify putting him any higher on the list. But I still think that this card is really, really good, especially with that great fielding, very solid arm, and 82 speed to go along with it. This guy is kind of a five-tool dude, you know, and I like that. It's just he wasn't quite good enough against righties for me to justify him being in the top 10. At number 10, we kind of have a guy that, even though he's a mission, he's kind of a budget beast because he's the Padres team epic, and you can complete the Padres extremely cheaply, get this card with just a little bit of grinding. And I think this card is totally worth it. He's very, very similar to Ichiro, kind of like a poor man's Ichiro. He has, God, I can't say that, Ichiro. But anyways, this guy he's going to be an on-base machine for you, 99, 90, 99 with contact and vision. He plays excellent defense. He's got a very strong arm out there, has that 90 speed. So he's going to steal a lot of bases for you. The 60 stealing is kind of low, but you should be able to work around that because, man, this card is legit. And he's not the only gold on this list. Right field has some really good gold beasts that I would definitely think about putting in my lineup. At number 9 is the Shawn Green, the 92 overall Shawn Green card. And this is a guy that is just a pure power bat. Like, you're putting this guy into your lineup so he can hit fourth in your lineup and just hit tons of bombs for you. His contact isn't the best, you know, 76, 64. He has 70 vision. Your PCI, I would say, is probably going to be average against righties and a little bit below average versus lefties. But he has tons of power, man. If you can just kind of get your PCI there, he's going to hit the ball hard. You're going to have extremely high exit velos. He's a beast. He's a big-time power threat and a new legend that they just added this year. Defensively, he is about as average as you can get, maybe even like a little bit below average for right field. He doesn't have that big of an arm, but everything he does, I guess, is serviceable. It's not going to be noticeably bad or anything. Doesn't have a ton of speed either. This guy is just pure power. That's it. And number 8 is the guy that I talked about in the last episode whenever I said that he was great for situations where you need to platoon with a lefty because he also hits righties well and he's not going to hurt you later in the game if you do have to sub him in. And that's the 91 overall Jason Worth. Against lefties, he is tremendous, you know, about as good as you can get. And versus righties, he's very, very serviceable. 87, 73, that is well above average. His vision is about average. I would say vision is one of those tough things, you know. Some guys who are fantastic players have extremely low vision for whatever reason, and then some guys who, you know, really aren't that great at players like Andrelton Simmons have like 99 vision, and it's just kind of weird to figure out, but his is about average. That's like the average vision attribute. I think if you averaged them all out, it would be come out to 61. And his defense is okay. You know, from a glove standpoint, he's very similar to the Shawn Green, but he does have that arm strength that is going to make him play a little bit above Shawn. In the defensive department, he is going to be able to throw out a few runners at third and at home, so that's a big bonus for him. So yeah, 91 overall, Jason Worth at 8th. Coming in at number 7 is a guy that I'm still trying to figure out how this card is gold. I don't know how this card isn't a diamond. He's a monster at the plate. Well, he's not a monster. I probably throw that term around too often. But he's very, very good at the plate. 84-78 versus righties, 90-82 versus lefties. His vision is a little bit lower, so, you know, his PCI may not be quite as big as the next guy. But he's still, if you can get your PCI there, he's going to do some great things for you. On defense, you know, his glove isn't going to be super reliable with that 60 fielding. He may, unless you're really good, you know, with like your route running, feathering the stick, as Millennium would say, all that stuff. You know, he may make a mistake here or there for you, but that arm strength really makes everything else, you know, it kind of overshadows everything else because he just has an absolute cannon, and he's going to throw out tons of people at third, throw out tons of people at home. He's going to turn a lot of would-be doubles into singles. This is a great, that's a great asset to have. And also, his 76 speed, while not, you know, elite, is above average, and it will make the 60 fielding, you know, it may kind of overshadow that a little bit, especially with a 71 reaction, which, once again, isn't elite, but it's, you know, about average. It'll make that fielding play up just enough to where he's not noticeably terrible. At number 6 is a card that I think is very, very polarizing. People either love this card or they hate it. There's not a lot of in between. The people that love it because he has just loads of power, and he can muscle out a ton of balls that otherwise wouldn't have been muscled out. And the people that hate him because he has extremely low vision and he has low contact versus righties. And people, including myself, they value that contact versus righties and vision because it helps you to have a bigger PCI. This guy's PCI versus righties is not going to be very big, but if you can get if you're good with your PCI, he's going to play great for you. And he has good fielding too. The 63 reaction I don't like that much. I would rather have good reaction and bad fielding than good fielding and bad reaction, but that's just me. And he doesn't have the speed to make up for it. So this is a pure, you know, offensive guy that can play serviceable but not great defense. His arm is okay. Just a good card, just a solid card defensively, but offensively he is a monster if you are good with your PCI. At number 5 is the live series Mookie Betts. Before we start, let's look at his, I haven't ever looked at his quirks. Okay, he has two pretty good quirks. He has the breaking ball quirk and the 2-strike quirk. That'll help you a little bit. The other ones won't help you as much. By the way, guys, the ones that are active are always on the right-hand most side, like the ones that are on the very right. If they have active quirks, they'll be over there. But anyways, this guy is kind of like a poor man's Mike Trout. He, you know, hits lefties and righties very, very good. He doesn't have the power that Trout has, but he also has the vision that Trout doesn't have. He doesn't strike out a lot. He has that 92 vision, so it's really going to make your PCI play up. He's very good defensively with a average arm, and he has that speed, so he's going to be getting to a lot of stuff that a lot of the people that I've mentioned so far on the list that they won't be getting to, he's going to get there for you. And you're not sacrificing anything on offense to get that. The big, well, and another benefit of him before I get into the negative, is that he can play second base, which is an extremely thin position. And if you can get a guy with good defense, good speed, and is a legitimate power threat, if you can get that at second base, that is a win every single time. So I would almost recommend playing this guy at second over outfield just because outfield is so deep and it's so easy to find guys. But the one big negative with this guy is that he's so short. And if you guys watch my videos and take my advice and everything like that, you're probably using strike zone camera with zone hitting and either reticle or wedge PCI. Well, whenever you have really short guys, this is why Altuve wasn't like my #1 second baseman or whatever. Whenever you have really short guys like that, it squeezes your PCI in, and it kind of puts the camera at a weird angle. So it's kind of hard to maneuver your PCI around the zone, and it makes it a lot more difficult to hit, in my opinion. The 94 Reggie Jackson comes in at number 4, and this guy is... he plays, even though his attributes are terrific, he plays up from those attributes even more. Like, yeah, he's 67-83 versus lefties, but it seems like anytime I square up a ball, that ball is going a long way, lefty or righty. This guy's a tremendous hitter. I really like his swing. To me, he has a quick bat. I love this card. I really do. And it helps a lot. That 74 speed. I've hit several triples with this guy that with another guy would have just been doubles, and I've hit a lot of single or doubles with this guy that would be singles with other people. The 74 speed makes everything play up a little bit more, even though it's just slightly above average. Whenever you have a guy who's mostly a power threat, if you have that added bonus of just a little bit of speed, it can really be more helpful than you think it would be. Defensively, he's not anything special. He's very, very average. So you're not getting this card for that. You're getting it for the left-handed power bat, and that is exactly what he's going to bring to you. Number 3 is the 94 overall Jose Bautista, and this guy was very, very tough to place. I could see him being anywhere from like number 8 to number 2. So I decided to put him at number 3. Offensively, he's a monster, but I've always kind of felt like the Jose Bautista has a bit of a slow bat for my taste. I've never been a huge fan of his swing. He's just always kind of played down for me. Now, granted, I don't have this year's card, and it could be different this year. But that was just my experience with him last year. But he's still, I mean, you can't argue with 72, 97, 95, 99, with 69 vision, which is slightly above average. Those are tremendous hitting numbers, and if you can barrel up a ball even, you know, slightly consistently, this guy's going to be fantastic for you at the plate. At fielding, he's kind of like the Puig, in the fact that he doesn't have very good fielding, and he's maybe even worse because his reaction is lower and he doesn't have the speed. So he's not going to get to a lot of stuff. But he does have that big arm that will, you know, prevent runs from time to time for you. So that's a big thing, but you're not getting this guy for the defense. You're getting him for just a pure power display. And number 2 is the 94 Bryce Harper. He's just been upgraded, you know, pretty recently, and it made him a monster once again. Like, you know, like there was ever any doubt. I know last year was really bad for him, but everybody kind of knew he was going to turn it around. He's tremendous, versus righties, 84-93 with 60 vision. Against lefties, still very good, 77, 72. Not a guy that you need to think about platooning or anything like that. Even though, if you want to, you can, but I don't think it's really necessary. He's got decent speed too, kind of like the Reggie Jackson. This card is a lot, it reminds me a lot of the Reggie Jackson, except Harper has the arm. And that was the big separating factor between the two. They're two very similar, very equal players. But Harper has the big arm strength. And, that's a benefit. That does give him a little bit more value, in my opinion, than the Reggie Jackson. That brought him in at number 2. And number 1 is... It's the 94 overall Ted Williams, and this is a guy I didn't even know was a right fielder until the other day. I thought he was still a left fielder until I made the left field video and somebody commented saying that he was a right fielder. Thanks to you, by the way. I would have completely overlooked him if not for you. This guy is just a pure offense play. He's a guy to get a tremendous bat in your lineup, and I've always said that, if you have to pick between offense and defense, always pick offense. And I don't know. Now that I think about it, this may not be the best pick because there are other guys like the Harper, like the Jackson, that are tremendous hitters as well as the Williams, but they play a little bit better in the field. The big thing with Williams, though, that kind of made me separate him out is that no matter what, there are never thoughts of platooning this guy, ever. This guy hits versus everybody, and he has that 93 vision, which is the elite of the elite as far as vision goes. And so your PCI is going to be enormous. He's going to hit a ton of bombs for you, 89-90 power, 95-84 contact. he's just like his left field card, the 99 overall, he's just a monster. And the defense, it's like, okay, he doesn't have great defense, but whenever you're getting such good offensive production out of him, it's kind of hard to say, okay, I'm going to take him out and put Bryce Harper in because I really need that arm strength. And then Bryce Harper hits 40 points lower than Ted, and you know, Ted hits a home run every 8 at-bats. Bryce Harper hits one every 14. You know, I just don't think it's worth, the defense is worth it at that point. So I do think that this is probably the best right fielder in the game, just like he's the best left fielder in the game. It's kind of funny. But yeah, this is all subject to change. If they come out with a Reggie Stocker, he could take him over at left field. If they come out with, you know, a dope-ass right fielder, you know, like a really good Dave Winfield or something like that, and he could take him over in right. But for right now, Ted is the number 1 at left and right, and then Andre Dawson in center. That's the way it worked out. Anyways, guys, catch me tomorrow, and I will be putting out a top 10 catcher list. I'm also working on a new tutorial that I want to put out, but I don't know if it's going to be done today. I'm going to try to get it done today. If it's not, you know, forgive me. It is a Sunday. I do kind of try to take Sundays easy, but you know, it may come out. It may. Just, you know, don't hate me if it doesn't. Anyways, guys, I will see y'all later on, whether that be later today or tomorrow, I do not know, but peace!